Hey guys, I'm back, and today I wanted to talk about all the ways that you can successfully study in college, because it's honestly the most important part of your college experience. I mean, that's why you're there, right? Now let's take a moment to just think of all the places that you have to study. Well, first, obviously, you have your room. For me, that's my favorite place to study. I'm most comfortable there, and I work best in the privacy of my own room. One issue with studying in your room is coordinating with your roommate. There will be times when you need some peace and quiet to do your work, but your roommate is being too loud or has a study group over. They have a right to do that because it is half their room. This just requires some communication between the two of you. Each of you should be respectful when the other one has to study, but you can't be forcing your roommate out all the time. But you can't force your roommate out all the time if you have a lot of work to do. It's a shared room, so you have to share the time that you spend in the room. When it's your roommate's time to have some alone time in the room, or your neighbors are just being too loud, you're going to want to find some other places to study. When this happens, my next bet is to go to the library. In the library, there's so much space that you can pretty much always find a place to work, except for finals week when everyone will be fighting for a place on the floor. I know pretty much every library, especially ones on college campuses, have sections or even floors that are just dedicated to quiet study. So if you're like me and you're easily distracted by other people, I would suggest trying to study in these areas. The quiet floors in my school's library has individual workstations with walls on the sides of the desks, so you don't even have to see anyone. You can just sit down with your work and get in the zone. If your room and the library don't work for you, there are still more places that you can go. I know most academic buildings have study lounges or tables that you can work on, or you can even use an empty classroom. The best part about doing your homework in a building that you have a class in is that a lot of the time your classmates or even your professors will walk by and you can ask them questions. Even if those places don't work for you, if it's nice weather, try going outside and laying in the grass with a book. It's a good opportunity to catch some rays while you're getting your work done. If you go to a school in an area like mine where it snows 8 months of the year, you'll definitely appreciate what little time you get to have in the sun. So when you're living on campus, you shouldn't have any problem with finding a place to do your work. Now, living at college means you're going to have to do some of your own parenting. So if you know you don't study well with other people around, then try to avoid studying with your friends. Yes, it's nice to spend time with friends, but if it's going to hurt your grade, then it'll probably be better to wait and hang out with them another time. I remember my first semester, I studied with a group of friends before a big test, but I didn't do as well as I wanted. So for the next test, I decided to study on my own, and I got a whole letter grade better. If you can study while hanging out with your friends, that's great. But if you're like me and you have to study alone, that's cool too. You'll just need to have good judgment about it. However, even if you are an individual learner, there will be times when you have to work on an assignment with a group. But when you're living with your classmates just down the hall or across the quad, it's so easy to do. With everyone living on campus, it's so easy to meet up, coordinate schedules, and get work done together. So definitely take advantage of this so you can get the best grades you can get.